Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we're going to be talking about Hedera and HBAR. More so specifically, we are going to be talking about why you should be watching Hedera closely, as well as even the token HBAR itself. Now, mind you, Hedera and HBAR, two different things. Technically, if you are looking at HBAR as a token, it is extremely diverse, that kind of comparing the network to the token itself. One thing that I always note whenever I talk about tokens specifically is that the network and what the token is doing are two different things. Now, the interesting thing about Hedera, obviously with the token HBAR, is that when we come over to HBAR has two specific use case advantages on the network. In fact, HBAR itself keeps the network extremely secure, as well as fuels the network. It's a dual role of HBAR as a token, which is extremely diverse compared to most. Now, I'm not going to go in depth on everything that we've talked about in the entire last year and even the year beforehand, because there's just so much information to go off of just with that alone, and I'm sure that you guys don't want to hear me talk about the same thing that I've always talked about with Hedera, which is why I believe Hedera is the future around a lot of these areas. In fact, I actually want to let metrics talk for themselves, which we will get to here in a second, but one thing that I do want to talk about is the fact that we've seen a lot of these ledgers come out, these networks, these layer ones, and they always get you with the buzzwords, the marketing terms. Scalability, speed, efficiency, blah, 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 this, that, whatever. The thing to me that speaks the most volume is what other major use cases and projects that are building out on these networks say about building out on the network. We have seen a ton of Ethereum-based projects move over to Hedera. We have seen a ton of individuals that were a part of the Solana community, that were a part of even the Ethereum community, move over to Hedera to build on it, to build out NFT projects, things like that, even dApps, and it's because of the efficiencies. So the efficiencies are there. A lot of individuals are kind of confused on, what makes Hedera so different. It's the security, it's the scalability, it's what the network itself has to offer, and it has such a vast opportunity in this space to really kind of offer a ton of potential, as well as a ton of power as well behind a lot of these major enterprise grade use cases. We've talked about, global real estate, how global real estate is being tokenized. Hedera is a perfect opportunity for that as well, and they already are taking control of that with Toko, as well as even Red Swan. Now, the highest grade security is possible on Hedera, which is ABFT, and you combine this with all of the other efficiencies, and you have a perfect potion to really kind of take over a lot of these major markets, specifically DeFi, NFTs, and a lot more. Now, let's actually jump into the metrics. So, one, I want to start with this video, which is about 2 minutes long, and it's from Lehman Baird himself, and he's talking about how the Hedera network is leaderless. It's enabling the greatest degree of stability and fairness, and this is quoting a tweet from BitBoy, how he was talking about he moved from Solana over to HBAR, ICP, and even Algo. I don't really like ICP. I've talked about it slightly in the past. I do love Algorand, though, as well, but I do think that Hedera does have a lot to offer. And it's like a 50-50 to me. It's very hard to choose Hedera over Algorand or Algorand over Hedera. I'm not biased at all. I do hold both tokens, just to give you guys a quick insight. But listen closely to this video, and then we will address a few things after the fact.
Some distributed ledger technologies are based on leaders. The leader-based DLTs have a leader computer. Everyone sends their transactions to the leader, and then the leader sends out, here's the order the transactions need to be. Or the leader sends out a block that has those transactions in that order that gets added to the chain. The problem with a leader-based system is that you can have a DDoS attack on the leader, a distributed denial of service attack, where computers all over the internet are flooding it with packets, preventing the leader from doing its job. Now, of course, a leader-based system would be designed so that if the leader goes silent for long enough, eventually it times out and everyone says, I guess the leader's computer has crashed, let's switch to a new leader. The problem is that if even one computer is infected with a virus or a worm, or is malicious, or has an insider, or is compromised, that one computer will know when we have a new leader and can direct the botnet to follow the new leader. And so the botnet can play follow the leader and can keep the leader shut down all the time, even if we have some systems you wouldn't think of as leader-based. In a database, two-phase commit is actually a kind of leader-based system. In any kind of a system where you have a lock, that you have to obtain the lock and then you can make a change and then you release the lock, it's leader-based. If you crash while you're holding the lock, there's a problem. Or if the DDoS attack is always on whoever's holding the lock, it's a problem. If you have a system where maybe we vote as a community for several leaders to take turns and then every 2 seconds you have a different leader, that's a leader-based system. And with follow the leader attacks, the DDoS can keep shutting down a different leader every 2 seconds. And so we have a problem with the security of this system. Furthermore, it isn't fair. The leader has the ability to control what order the transactions are going to be in that the leader puts in. And so maybe in a stock market, your competitor bribes the leader to put theirs before yours. And if that happens even 1% of the time, stockbrokers would pay millions of dollars to cheat by getting them put ahead 1% of the time. Or maybe your access is entirely missing. Maybe your competitor bribes the leader to not even put yours into the block.
And of course, there's a lot more to this, but it breaks down the security mechanism. This is why I do think that Hedera being the highest grade security measurement possible, the entire model of the system is far more efficient than 99%, or if anything, all of what is out there in this market today. Long term, Hedera is going to be a staple network in this space that will empower massive amounts of enterprises out there. ServiceNow, 80% of the Fortune 500. This is happening, and this is happening now. We do see over here from a few metrics. So diving into the metrics, this is what we know from a lot of these roadmaps, these Q3 reports, and all that kind of stuff. These are the quarterly reports. This is from Mazari Crypto. The Hedera NFT sector has been an engine of growth for the network. During Q3, NFT active users, 90% quarter over quarter, and transactions over 107% quarter over quarter, each set all-time highs. It's going to continue to grow. The efficiency behind Hedera NFTs is far greater than any network out there. The lowest fees, the highest, the one thing that's missing. This is the one thing, and this is a negative review of NFTs on Hedera. Utility. We need a lot more tolling for NFTs, and it's going to happen. But once we see that, these metrics that we see around NFTs are going to grow enormously. And it's going to be very, very exciting. Also, if you don't care about NFTs, you should 100% care about DeFi. Hedera ended Q3 with $100 million in TVL. Total value locked is a huge metric. It's actually a key fundamental driver of success around a lot of networks. Check this out. 171% increase quarter over quarter for TVL. The increase in TVL was primarily driven by the launch of Hedera's first decentralized exchange, SaucerSwap Labs, and I did have the opportunity to be a part of a spaces with the SaucerSwap team, as well as Hedera, with HBAR, and we did a lovely Q&A with the community. I would have loved to talk more about some of the questions that I had, but it was totally, up to the host. It was my first spaces, but it was a great sort of insight on where SaucerSwap is headed, and it was a very incredible in-depth view on what is happening behind the scenes with DeFi on Hedera. And it's a very, very exciting time to really kind of see everything morph into reality, and we could definitely see it through the metrics. Right now, TVL down a little bit. We are sitting at about 90.81 million. A lot of people were really kind of unlocking their tokens, sending it to cold storage at the time of FTX. So we've seen a massive drop. But since then, we have seen a stabilization on a TVL. And we did hit an all-time high of about 116.61 million on November 5th. I'm very excited to watch this continue to grow once we get into the bull run. We are sitting at about roughly, and this is a great metric, by the way, 1.86 billion HBAR locked up. That's the value proposition behind $90.67 million. Now, again, some more metrics. Smart contract activity. It has grown over 2,400% quarter over quarter as per the Mazari Crypto Q3 report. Archaea is prepared to help developers build on Hedera. through its JSON, RPC relay, and full suite of developer tools. And yeah, here you guys have the smart contract service. Absolute monster of growth happening over on Hedera. It is very, very interesting to watch Hedera grow like this. And at a time where this market is centered on things like this that are crucial, it is amazing to see. Because if we are seeing this explosive growth now, imagine when we are at the peak of the bull run, when we are jumping into the bull run, as the bull run is just starting. I mean, it's going to get very, very exciting so fast. That's why I think everyone should be focused on what Hedera and HBAR are doing. We do see over here from Zeus Market, we recently just hit 100 million HBAR in total transactional value on Zeus Market. HBAR NFTs are exploding in popularity. Here are some of the stats from the last 10 months. Total volume. Look at the total volume of Hedera or HBAR on Zeus Market. This is insane. Just to put it into perspective, from July 4th, 2022, we were sitting at about roughly 13 million HBAR. It has grown massively to 100 million in just a short amount of time. That is crazy to me. Because think about it. In 4 months, things changed rapidly around Hedera. That's how fast this market can change. Weekly unique buyers and sellers are up massively. Buyers are in blue, sellers are in green. We did see a ton of selling happening during October, and we have been seeing a lot of selling going all the way back to July as well. And here are the top collections as well, if you guys did want to look into that. So, a lot of things are happening. It is very, very exciting, and this is also not the only discussions I wanted to talk about as well. We have seen some of the fastest speeds within crypto being realized in from Hedera. Not only that, but decentralized exchanges. So comparing it to Phantom, Avalanche, Polygon, Ethereum, BNB Chain, Tron, and even Cardano, check out the fastest decentralized exchanges of the blockchain world. Check that out. 8-second confirmation time. That is crazy. This is how fast Hedera is. Everything that is being built out on Hedera, everything that we have just recently gone over with metrics, this is why I believe going into the next major bull run, Hedera is going to be a staple network, and I really do believe that Hedera will shock the entire crypto community. Because what they have been building, what they have been focused on for so long, is disruptive and completely diverse technology. And they have achieved this. And I'm very, very excited for the future of Hedera. I think it's very bright. And with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on if you guys have more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, hope that you all have a beautiful day, beautiful night, wherever you guys are on this before. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.